Mr. Urquhart, Mattie Storr in the Chronicle. I'm sorry to disturb you at home, but I've been trying to contact you all day. I really would appreciate some help in understanding the thinking behind this really surprising announcement that there aren't going to be any cabinet changes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I have no comment to make.
Mr. Urquhart, that's a great story, but I don't think you'd like us to run it.
I beg your pardon. What story?
Late last night, there were telltale signs of deep division in the highest party circles. Francis Urquhart, the chief whip, who has been denied promotion once again, refused to comment on or defend the Prime Minister's decision.
I know you, don't I? Aren't you the new girl Greville Preston took on when they pensioned off old Cecil Roach?
I'm the newish political correspondent on the Chronicle, Mr. Urquhart.
Ah, yes. Quite. Do come inside, Miss Storr. But then you won't be disturbed. My wife likes to listen to Wagner in the evenings, Miss Storr. Do come in. Would you like a drink?
I'll have whatever you're having.
Whiskey, all right?
Thank you.
Broch Claddach, if you know your malts.
Thank you.
Do sit down. Well, now.
Mr. Urquhart, in my piece tomorrow, I'll faithfully record your public loyalty to the Prime Minister and your defense of his actions. Or in this case, lack of actions. But I want to understand what people are really thinking. I want to know what you really feel. And I think you'd like to talk to me in confidence on lobby terms.
And what makes you think that?
You didn't have to let me in. You could have phoned Greville Preston and complained about my outrageous harassment and threatened him with this and that, and he'd have listened. Because one thing everyone knows is that threats from Francis Urquhart are not idle threats.
Good.
And if I were to betray your confidence, you could have me not just sacked, but unemployable within the week.
I'm going to confide in you, am I?
I hope so. Everyone I talk to says Francis Urquhart could tell you the answer to that one, but he won't. Well, at this stage in my career, I need to understand much more than I need scoop headlines. I need a friend in high places, Mr. Urquhart. And I think you'd like to talk to someone like me. And nobody knows I'm here tonight. And nobody will.
Perhaps you'd like to ask me questions, Miss Storr.
Mattie, please.
Yes, Mattie.
There really is a lot of rivalry and dissent within the cabinet, isn't there?
Some elements of the party, some elements in the cabinet, are deeply distressed. They don't think the PM has what it takes for a full 5-year term or anywhere near it. They see another leadership crisis looming, and the more ambitious of them want to be well placed when it comes. They're not thinking about the good of the party anymore, much less the good of the country. They're thinking about the next leadership race.
And one might say the same about the Prime Minister. That he's thinking about his own survival, not the good of the country.
You might say that. I couldn't possibly say that. And if one word of this is linked with my
I am a
name...
lobby correspondent, Mr. Urquhart. Don't worry. It'll be senior members of the party and sources close to the Prime Minister.
Good. Very good.
Could I ask you why you've decided to talk to me? You don't usually give interviews at all, do you?
Let's say you turned up at the right time. No, that's not fair. Things need to be aired publicly. I've read your stuff. It's very good. I think I can trust you to be fair and honest. Perhaps you haven't been here long enough to be corrupted.
Well, thank you. I hope I never will be. Could I ask you, if the Prime Minister is experiencing discord in the cabinet, wouldn't his best move be to sack the dissidents? Get in some new people and some fresh new policies?
You might think so, Mattie, but in all fairness, it isn't so easy. He's not absolutely certain where the danger lies, for one thing, and a sudden flurry of changes might look like panic. That's the official view.
But you don't agree with it?
Of course I agree with it, Mattie. I have to agree with it. You, on the other hand, might feel that if you were the captain of the Titanic, you wouldn't be saying, steady as she goes.
Who should he... I don't know how to put this in a way that you'll be able to answer.
Try.
If I were captain of the Titanic, which of my senior officers should I be worried about?
Beware of an old man in a hurry. Have you heard that phrase, Mattie?
Lord Bilsborough. But he's Collingridge's closest advisor. And surely he can't still think he could be party leader, not at his age, not from the Lords.
So?
He doesn't want it for himself. He wants to pull the strings. He wants the party leadership for one of his protégés.
You might think that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Michael Samuels.
You might think that.
Lord Bilsborough is setting up Collingridge as an Aunt Sally so that Michael Samuels can take his place when the time comes.
You might think that. I couldn't possibly comment.
And how do you feel about all this?
Oh, I'm just the chief whip, Mattie. My personal feelings are neither here nor there. I look after morale and discipline amongst the backbenchers, keep them up to the mark, listen to their problems, help them out when I can, administer some sharp kicks up the backside when that seems indicated.
Just like a prefect, head of house sort of thing. I'm sorry, that sounds very cheeky.
Not at all. That's exactly what it's like.
Everyone says you're very good at it.
I believe I am, Mattie. I believe I am.
Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. I really appreciate it.
Not at all.